Today on Rat and Cat, a new Sasquatch footprint. Hi, Nikita here, and this is Rat and Cat, where we search for those who have gone missing so others can learn how to survive. Most of my channel is about searching for people and survival techniques and what we can do to be safer when we go out and have a good time. However, I've come across quite a few stories about Bigfoot, and I've always thought of Bigfoot as legend and lore and fiction. And I strongly question anyone on my channel, not anyone, but a lot of people who make claims about Bigfoot, and on other people's Bigfoot channels, because I think that 99% of it is fake. Actually, I thought 100% of it was fake. But this summer, something has changed my mind. Going into looking for these people who have gone missing, I did it because I know that people make mistakes when they go in the outdoors, and they're small mistakes, and they all add up until it's fatal. Doesn't happen most of the time, but it can happen to anybody if you're not careful. So that's the Premonition coming to this show. I wasn't looking for Bigfoot. I was thinking about doing something along like a parody of Bigfoot because I just didn't believe. But on the first search I did, I found some tracks, and I've been out in the woods for years and years, and I've never seen anything. But I found several sets of tracks, and it really unsettled me in my beliefs because they were so authentic. Maybe somebody could have planted them and then planted new moss over it, but I'm pretty certain that couldn't have happened because the way it was like a perfect impression, and it was just enough time for the plant life to come back up. And the way it was the depression in the ground where the footstep was so deep that, I couldn't do that. It was wet soil, and I put my foot down there right beside it just to check, and it went 2 or 3 times as deep as my footprint did. So it was something really heavy walking there, and it wasn't replanted grass. Somebody would have to remove all the soil. The way it just wasn't possible. And I found several different tracks around there, one about 10 inches long and one about 16, 17 inches long. I think what's really changing my mind now even more is that my brother and his 2 sons were hiking in northern Idaho this summer, and they went in about 7 miles. There's no roads into this place. The only way in is to hike or by helicopter, and they were hiking along a lake, and they found a Bigfoot track 15 inches long, between 12 and 15, somewhere in there. And they showed me the photos of it. And these are people that I trust. I don't believe 99% of the stuff. You see tracks out there, they look all different. They look like a human footprint. They are oftentimes in, fresh mud that has obviously been manicured. So I don't believe a lot of the stuff. I'm a huge Bigfoot skeptic, even to this day. And you'll hear me on my videos talk about, well, here's another, what do you call it? A tree structure. I hear all kinds of people talk about tree structures. And, man, I just can't see that because I see those structures happen in my backyard right here, where the wind and storms will knock them down. I'll go out and they're not there, and I'll come right back in when they're after a storm, and I hear and see the trees falling. But these new prints, and that it's somebody I know, has really changed my line of thought quite a bit. One thing I asked my nephews and my brother when they saw the track, before I'd seen the picture, was if it had a kind of a thumb going off the side, because the tracks I found all had a thumb going off the side like an ape does. They said it didn't, but when I look at the photos, it seems, I don't know, judge for yourself. Check out this picture. It seems to me like there is a digit going off the side. When I look online, I don't really see prints like that. I've maybe found one or two, but they're almost all these just various states of fake Bigfoot prints. And, you know, maybe they are real. This thing I still don't get, and doesn't make sense to me, is how could people see all these Bigfoot? Because there's a lot of people saying that they've seen Bigfoot, and people I know, but you know, how can you not snap off a picture if it's right there in this day and age? And especially people claiming that, you know, they're coming up and throwing rocks on people's houses and motorhomes. Yeah, you know, that would be, if they were that invasive, we would see more of them, it seems like. Unless, yeah. So I don't understand it, but it's pretty hard for me to argue with these prints that I found and that my brother found and his nephews. I mean, my nephews and his kids. So where do I go from here? I'm still a huge skeptic. Until I see, you know, photos, and I'm not going to believe most people's stories, or at least I'll hold them with reservation, I should say. And I am curious about people's stories. I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. It's a fascinating topic. There's a long history of this topic in this area. So yeah, tell me what you think. And how do you tell a real from a fake?